Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Friday's live art demonstration here at Upbeat Artworks. If you're not familiar with what Upbeat is, I'll let you know that we are a part of Artbeat Studio. We're an organization that really believes in the healing power of art and how creativity and community can really benefit our mental health and our well-being. We have a residency program in the Exchange, and we also have an urban art center here in Portage Place Shopping Center. We actually have this urban art center and this space, the art gallery. Our Studio Central, the art space, is open Monday through Fridays from 11 to 5. Thursdays, we have a writer's circle. Just some really cool creative things happening and a really great community of folks who love art and are passionate about mental health. So today we're in our art gallery. This is a space that we actually sell the art that folks have created who've gone through our programming. It's a cool space, original art, paintings. We're here Monday through Fridays from 11 to 5. So if you happen to be in the area, you should stop by and buy some art. But today we're here to do a live art demonstration. It's myself and we have Kate with us today. But we want to talk about an artist and highlight someone who's gone through our programming and show some of the art that they've done. So I'm going to flip the phone around so you can have a look. So today we're going to be talking about G. Cola.
G. Cola, hello.
Hi, Kate.
G. Cola, David Canada. David Canada or G. Cola. Born in Winnipeg in 2001, grew up in the West End and later in foster care until 2017. He found his artistic voice in middle school, practicing Photoshop and honing his cartooning and graffiti skills through Edge, an after-school program. Inspired by Walt Disney's iconic cartoons and Artbeat alumnus Logan Powell's beautiful abstract works, G. Cola describes Artbeat Studio as a super welcoming and non-judgmental environment. He happily gives back by volunteering in several ways at Studio Central. G. Cola primarily works with acrylics, Posca markers, rulers, and measuring tape, linking shapes and structures from his sketchbook, often freehand, exploring different techniques. Passionate about fashion and fabrics, he hopes to create fabric art with sound bites when he gains access to a sewing machine. His fascination with pigs, stemming from childhood creations like Super Pig and Gomo, is a recurring theme in his work, alongside influences from toys, video games like Pokemon, and cartoons. As a gamer, G. Cola explains, I use art to displace negative habits, set deadlines, and practice discipline. I have focus, creativity, and drive, and while I avoid overthinking, I'll do anything to make my art beautiful. He dreams of founding companies like Mulan Productions and Colossal Sword Guild, creating a band named Colossal Stars, and working in video games, TV, and movies. G. Cola proudly identifies as a cartoonist and abstract artist with big plans for the future. Photo by Kevin Brandt.
And G. Cola's work is available here. That you just saw some pieces of his work are available here at Upbeat Artworks. And again, I'm just going to show this. Like his main featured piece is this awesome character Gomo from Zombie Caught. If you're interested, come check it out in person. And yeah, so yeah, thank you, Kate. All right.
Let's move on. Let's go and talk about warm weather, which is non-existent here yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry, I need to bring candy over there.
Yeah.
Come got some candy.
So we are today we are going to be doing Leprechauns in acrylic.
And I do have some paint markers for the variety of colors and some outlines. So I do have a limited color palette for that. So that would be green, which we might need just a darker green, different shades. We have gold, but I also have gold and silver in these paints.
Mm-hmm.
These are really good gold and silver. If we need them, we might. And I have the gold paint marker as well. What I need the most for the outlines is black and white, and that's what I just put in my bag right before leaving. I'm going to incorporate, this is a started piece, which I started at 295 Pritchard, where I teach classes. So I started it there, but I also want to add a leprechaun here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work on the leprechaun with acrylic that is added onto the piece that I already have.
Cool.
And then I can work out more details.
Beautiful.
Here in there. This one, I just started it, and this is going to James.
This piece looks so good. I can't get over how good that is. That's great.
So this
Oh, yeah.
one is the one I found online. I just started it, so it's easier to work on painting and shading or not shading, depending on what James chooses to do with it. So that's not exactly the same as here and imagination. Like,
Yeah,
see what
yeah,
you
I'll
can
add some
do with it.
details.
And then I actually thought of taking this as an inspiration picture and try my best. I do not know where exactly. I think this spot is good because I did not even paint it as.
Yeah. So you're gonna add this
So yeah, I'm going
this
to add
character
this
into that
character
piece.
here
Yeah.
somewhere.
Cool.
And then what this piece needs is basically a little improvement on the color of the leaves here, and a couple areas here that I
Okay.
did not work on completely.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's
basically
great.
It's almost done. And a couple things on the mushroom just to even that up with
Okay.
color. So yeah, I'm picking this one.
I'm going to do that.
Yours. And then the brushes I have, these are Dollarama brushes. This is just a set.
Cool.
I bought, and I find these brushes kind of okay for
Yeah.
working with details.
Okay, yeah, it looks good.
And then I have one of these as well.
So we're just gonna get down to making some art. And if you have any questions or anything about like the materials we're using today, feel free to pop that into the comments below. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so some water. We could use the same one, or you could use the other.
Use the same one.
Yep. Okay, the wind got to me. It's super windy and cold.
Yeah.
Talking of one spring, but it doesn't happen yet. That's Winnipeg for you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, today's technically the first day of spring.
Yes. I cannot feel it, but I was trying to enjoy it until I went outside.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is to start with white and make an outline so I do not get lost in what I'm doing here. And also I got some paint markers which I could use for tiny outlines that I need. And I definitely want to test the white before I start, so I don't get anything there that I don't want. Let's see. I can just add a tiny one here, or I can make a bigger one in this area. So maybe.
Okay, I'm going to use this as a palette.
Good choice. Maybe I'll go with. Actually, that's something I can do. Let's start from here. So I'm just create a quick sketch with a paint marker before I start painting, and that makes sense for any work on top of acrylic. For me, rather than working with a pencil, I'd rather fix several lines with acrylic afterwards. And as you know, I'm not Irish, and it's the first time for me to work on leprechauns this year. Before that, I never painted one. I know how often it happens that I paint something for the very first time here. I made several tries at home, and I cannot really tell I'm really impressed by what I'm getting so far. So I do not have my own leprechaun yet. I paint with the reference image, and that's all you can do.
Well, it's nice to have a reference image too, because then you can, you know.
I can relate to something at least.
Yeah, and you can like, you know.
And as I went through a lot of them, I can just talk about the differences in like the color of the shoes or clothes. Greens can be different, and here we can have red and bright red, or you know, orange red. But most likely you'll see a lot of greens, and the variant that I choose for this image, it can be red or it can be green, just because of how many greens I have already.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I will see. So this is jacket.
How was, did you do anything for St. Patrick's Day?
Not really. I even don't know what to do except of. I never thought of that about celebrating it at home. And I don't know. Do you celebrate it?
No. When I was younger, I used to work in a bar.
Oh.
So
okay.
it was like the biggest, you know, the biggest night of the year for a pub. I worked in a pub specifically, so.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun.
I can admire it, but I do not know much about it. You know, Wikipedia is not much help here because it's what people do at home. Right? What's the tradition? And my tradition is not that.
Yeah. Is St. Patrick's Day a strictly like North American thing?
That's I know that it's Irish, but I do not know how much it transfers. I think it's
Yeah.
Americanized
Right.
version of. So yeah, I do not know much. I just see that people are going. I don't say crazy, but I see how much excitement it can be.
Yeah.
But
People like it.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. Yeah, I believe it's Americanized, but it definitely something that Irish people would celebrate in a different way,
Yeah.
I know, like in places such as Studio Central, you would see people decorating and adding their own things. I do not even know if this year it was decorated, but previously, you know, it was.
I think there was a couple of decorations up. I don't think it was. As done as it has been in the past. Yeah, we just posted about it in the newsletter, so.
Okay, so we can.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag. We're moving to a new location.
So it's definitely something that could stop us or prevent us from celebrating a lot because we're packing.
Mhm.
And there's quite a bit of work that we needed to do before that.
Yeah, so we're gonna be moving into our new space in Portage Place. So we're still gonna be here, but we're just gonna be down the hall. If you're familiar with Portage Place, we're gonna be kind of right across from our dean. They're gonna be doing a lot of new renovations and construction here in Portage Place. So while that's happening, we are lucky enough to have a temporary spot to be in, which is great. We'll have some paper towel.
Oh, we can use this as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be cut up a little bit, but. What I mean is the fiber from it can get a little tiny bit on the brush,
Yeah.
but they're still usable. So the sketch is there already. So now to fill the colors, which can take way more time than you think sometimes. But
How is it? Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, very good. And I'm just sort of filling in some details with this character.
Okay, so that's what I have for now. And I brought all kind of different greens. So the greens I have are,
And I got more crystal greens here.
okay, so
Wow.
starting with, this is just neon green, which I usually don't even use. I always use yellows. Even though I have lots of greens, I still use yellows with them sometimes, most likely. I have the mint green, this is yellow green, this is phthalo green, this is sap green, Christmas green, olive green, light green. I don't say I'm using them all. And I always add black and white. So this is the base for what I'm doing here. So I start mixing. Okay. For what works for here, it doesn't have to be the same green, but I want it to be bright. So let's say I can take the base of this green, and then I usually use 2 layers, or I could just paint in 1 layer and use a combination of bright green and darker green for the shading, and then add a couple of highlights.
That's for the leprechaun.
That's for the leopard.
Yeah.
So I would just mix this two. Let's see what I'm getting. So that's something I would use for the outline or for sort of completely an outline. So this is shading. I'll do the shading. So this color. And then for the bright part, so just to test it out, I can just add it here. So that's exact same color I'm getting. That's here.
Nice.
With the darker part. So that's good. Okay, then.
There's actually quite a few
bright part.
different, a lot of different tones of green.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for this part, for the jacket, I would say it can be used the way it is. Tiny bit of black in it, tiny bit, not much. Real tiny bit. Just dip the brush in and mix it, and that would be the shade I want. Something like that. And then for the pants, it looks like I need leaf green, which I don't even have. I have leaf green somewhere, but not here. I don't know how it happened. So for the pants, I can use just Christmas green. Like the brush. See if that comes. It's super transparent, and I do not like that. So in
What
this
green is that?
case, this could be the leaf green, but I don't have it, so I'm just mixing Christmas green and some bright. And brightening it up, and then I want to add a tiny bit of white in it. I brighten it up intentionally because this is the color I want to go with. And then in combination with this, let's see how that goes. Okay, let's take the brush and try it out. So I have this as the correct. This. So at first I mix it, I always do that, I mix it with the outline that I create, which not not each artist would do, but just because the paint, you layer it down and it's very transparent, I like mixing it with another color and make another layer, 2 layers. That's the way it goes for me. Or I could just paint it white and put a pure color, but it's not what I'm doing. So I'm gonna do 2 layers this way.
Okay, so I can add.
can just start with the darker color and just move to bright after. Or, as I say, when you work with layers, it's easier for me to add a random color and then work on top after it's dry. So all the parts that I want to make really bright, I would just add this pure color and then change it a bit when it's dry.
Oh, it looks so good. The colors are great.
It will. I never trust the first layer. I always add something and
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
So this is the beginning of it. The hardest for me was always the face. So when I start, okay, so there are a couple layers I have right now. Let them dry. And then, as I did not paint completely, the background is not painted. Yeah, so I can definitely add more outlines to make sure it is better. Outlines. Okay, so what I want to do with the face, it's always hard to mix the skin tone that is there. If I can reach it, I can. If I cannot, I cannot. Let's try. So I just go for brown, some brown, some white, some yellow. And start with this. Usually for any skin tone, I would add pinks or reds depending. But for this one, this particular one, it does not require it. So let's see if that is even close to what is there. Is it close?
Yeah,
It's
it's
kind
pretty
of
close. Yeah.
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 And then I would need oranges and chas for the outline. And browns. So the orange I have is this. Yeah, it works together with the little tiny bit of tan
Yeah.
mixed into that. And what for the part that is darker, let's see. I have brown
Yeah.
right here, so let's say.
I really like how you're using like the image here, but you're color matching.
Yeah, so color matching is just to relate to at least something. It doesn't
Yeah.
look like this yet.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
cannot see it because it's the first layer. I never get it on the first layer. So I will just mix a little tiny bit of this with brown. And if it's not enough, I can add the red. And that is it's okay. I could use tiny little bit of red in it. Tiny little bit. And then it would be closer. that's the one I want. And this way I can, again, this brush wouldn't do because it's too thick. So I need the thinnest brush I have. And it's this one, I believe. So I could start with just the beard. I feel like I don't have enough control of this brush. I don't know, why is it?
How's the tip?
It's not the best.
This one's actually pretty good.
No.
It really goes to a really fine tip, so I'm able to do some of these like
That's
smaller
awesome.
details.
So the beard, I can just paint it simple, or I could just make several curves with brown and just add this red. But again, I let this dry first. I don't want to do it for the first time. I feel it's not good enough. And then I'm going to mix the skin color, and then I can actually stop because I believe that's what's needed for the light. Because all the little detail that would be quite, I don't know if it's boring or not, but hard for me to actually do it during the live. The only thing I want to show which blue right before that, it's this blue that I'm going to use. If it's too dark, I can mix the blues, so I can mix this turquoise with bright blue. That's what I'm going for. And then the skin tone I have here, right? So this is actually the good skin tone. Very good skin tone. So for in between, I'm just going to use regular brown, all brown with this mixture, but most likely just brown. And for some parts of it, it would be mixed with this. So I'm basically done for today. So what's left is just yellows and golds and browns, which we could just put the pure ones. So that's it for the leprechaun. And all the rest is just the hardest work, which is mechanics of it.
Yeah. Getting the details.
Yeah.
I'm using basic kind of outlining things with black just to make the image pop.
I usually do it when the paint is completely dry.
Yeah.
This way I can use the paint marker. Because the brush would not tolerate this thin as I want.
Yeah.
It does not give me any option. And for the mouth, I honestly do not give much advice here.
Oh, looks good.
Yeah, so I usually just paint it the way it is, and then start outlining, and the way the outline goes here, I could use this orange, the darker one, or brown, either or. And then I'm filling in the leftover that I have. And then here it's essential to have a good brush. Good.
Okay, some details on my clover, 4-leaf clover, because they're lucky.
as you see, I just apply several layers before I'm actually doing anything else. And the outline, it's not as outline as you would see here, because for something like this, I would not use the brush, I would use the paint marker, and the paint marker does not do the job. So we're getting to the pen and drawing, which I'm not doing here, I'm doing painting. So whatever I can get on the side, because of the size too, it's tiny, and settle with this. There.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Okay, and then the face, I leave the nose first. Okay, and now for the brightest of greens, let's go for this.
What's the brightest green for you?
This, well, it's not the brightest, but I mean the brightest one here.
Yeah.
Let's try the sap. It gives you the brightness, but it doesn't give the light, so I'm just going to just add this green that I have here and see if that works. And then if you think that you want way more light, we can try this. So let's go for the light green. This is light green from the Marted set. And it is close to this, but it just not as close. So it doesn't have the brightness of this, but it has the light. And the texture of it is different, so we can try and see if that goes well for you. And this is a little tiny bit of white added to it.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're very good at getting those the color variations, but it's also on something quite small.
And that's surprising because I primarily, when I started painting, I did not go for exact color or anything like that. And for myself, the main thing was always and always and always the shape and not the color. Because it's close enough, but I don't focus on color myself. So I just do it randomly.
Yeah.
I never think too far in advance. Okay, so what's left? We could use oranges and yellows right here. Or we could use gold, but I would prefer oranges and yellows. What I'm doing. It might end up being gold as the result. And then just a regular brown for the shoes.
Gives me just a bit of weights. Just a tiny bit.
each time I get
Ah.
scared.
Now I need to add some black.
And if you want any of the mixture from what I have, you definitely use it. What time is it? And I'm reminding to someone who wants to come to the class at Butcher Park. It's tomorrow at 1.
Ooh, nice. Are you excited?
I am excited, but it's not a leprechaun.
Yeah. What are you doing? for
It's
that?
something different, and it's not really related to St. Patrick's.
Okay.
So I have a choice of either like an object. If I can finalize it today, I can. If not, I'm taking something different. Because that painting is not a complete 100% ready for teaching. Which means there are certain elements that I want to change.
Yeah.
If that works out, it works out.
Well, that's exciting.
So it's still a little bit of work to do for me.
And what time tomorrow is that class?
It's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Leprechaun. At 1 o'clock.
It's at 1, somewhere till 3.
Cool.
working and improving the color. And then when it's completely done, I can just have a quick outline, or maybe not a quick one, depending. Maybe even without the outline, depending on how it looks like when I'm done with acrylics. So what's left is just the eyes and the nose and the mouth, and then just the shading on everything. So the mouth, I just take a little tiny bit of brown right here, and then I okay, I did not make it good. Maybe I'll use the paint marker after, or just use the brush, but.
For what?
For the mouth.
Okay.
Just didn't turn out for the first time.
Oh, it's 1:59.
1:59 already? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll need a break.
Yeah. So we are going to continue working on these pieces. Our leprechauns in acrylic, doing variations. Kate's got a really cool leprechaun that's being added to this mushroom house scene, and working on those details. I've been working on the details for this leprechaun. So what we'll do is we'll keep working, but we'll take some photos of the pieces once they're done, and we'll post those so you can have a update. So that's mine, and then Kate, if you want to show your piece.
Mine is, there is not much to show yet, but here it is. Hello.
That means it's 2 o'clock.
Yes, certainly is.
Yeah, so Kate and I will continue working on this, and I'm just gonna flip this around. Yeah, we're gonna keep working on this, and we are grateful that you could join us today. We're here every Friday. We're doing little live creative activations here in Upbeat Artworks. Again, I'll just show behind before we sign off. So you can see all this art that's hanging. And to remind you that we are actually going to be moving at the end of the month. So once we're in that new space, we'll continue. We'll showcase some of the way the new space looks with the artwork. And we'll be figuring out our live art demos in that space as well. So anyways, thank you very much, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you, and see you soon. See you next Friday.
Right on.